So while this is drying, I just want to address something really quick because I'm sure it's going to come up. Yes, this is a toy for my son. Yes, he's a baby, which means he's probably going to be putting this in his mouth. That being said, the answer is no. This is not 100% organic hemp glue made from lemon rinds and celery root. It's Type Bond 2. Once it dries with the tiny amount that's going to be in there, it's food safe. I'm not worried about it at all. It's what I use on all my cutting boards. It's around the food that we eat all the time. I'm sure there might be something slightly better out there, but I'm not worried about this one bit. That being said, while this is drying, we're gonna take advantage of that time and we're gonna go cut out the ram that I drew for this project. So let's get to that. Next step's pretty simple. We're gonna take our block out of the clamps, then we're gonna take some spray adhesive and attach our paper template to the top of it. That way we can rough cut it over at the bandsaw. We'll do some fine tuning after that. So we're gonna grab some spray adhesive and then we will work on that next. Pop it on there just like that, and we'll bring it over to the bandsaw. I need this. So not that it matters, but just in case anyone's wondering why it's a ram and not some other animal, it's because our family's Latvian, our last name in Latvian means ram, so it's been our family animal forever. We use it in all sorts of stuff, it's kind of become our mascot, and as you can tell, it's leached into other things in our lives. So when I decided that I wanted to make a toy for my son, it was a pretty easy choice to make. I gotta go with the little ram. All right, so we just did a lot of stuff. First thing was we made our own dowel. Pretty self-explanatory. I cut it down to almost the size that I needed it on the table saw. Then I used my dowel plate and a drill to pick the exact size I wanted, which is 3/8 of an inch. Bored it through this hole, and now we have a 3/8 inch dowel. Then we made these little wooden pieces. These are kind of the rattle pieces that are gonna go inside the toy, on the dowel, sitting like that, so there's something to move around inside here. It's a kid's toy. I don't know, it seems like that's what's supposed to be in there, so that's what I did. And I did a couple little shapes. So there's a triangle, there's a circle, and there's a square, because learning. So then last but not least, I cleaned this thing up as much as I could. I took a router to the edges and rounded them over, and then I hand sanded what felt like forever. But anyway, it is cleaned up as much as it needs to be for now. I'm gonna do one more step with this, which is to water pop it. And this is why I'm doing a little talking section right now, because I figured this is something that's important to say for this type of thing. As I said before, this is a kid's toy, so I'm sure it's gonna get wet, whether that's with drool or actual water or whatever. If you do not water pop this, which means spraying water on it and letting it dry to raise the grain, then the first time it gets wet after this, all these little tiny grains are gonna pop up and make the surface feel super rough. So this is the same thing that you would do with a cutting board. After you do your cleanup sanding to a high grit, you're gonna spray this with water, let it dry, let the grain pop, and then really lightly go over it one more time with a high grit sandpaper, most likely by hand. All this is gonna do is take those couple tiny little grains that popped up and flatten them back out, so that the next time it gets wet, they can't raise up anymore because they already raised up once and now they're gone. Then that's the bulk of the project. So I'm gonna water pop this really quick, sand it back down, then put everything together with some glue, and then it's pretty much done, and we can see how he likes it. So let's knock these last few steps out. Okay, so now that all that ridiculousness is done, we're actually pretty much done with this thing. It's sanded, it's dry, it's smooth, it's ready to go. All we have to do is throw some finish on it. So I have this tub of mineral oil. This is what I use for all my cutting boards. So we're gonna throw this in there, let it soak for a little bit, then take it out, dry it off, and wrap this thing up. All right, that's it. He's done. All in all, pretty easy project. Obviously, you could use whatever wood you wanted for this. I had some scraps of walnut and maple, so I made it out of that. I know I used some tools that you don't need to use to make this, so I actually already gave this to my son so he could play with it for a little bit. I didn't film it because the internet. But what I can tell you is that like any toy that any parent is excited to give their kid, he could not have cared less about it. Just like everything else, if this had came in a box, he would have wanted to play with the box. Honestly, that doesn't matter to me at all, though. The whole point of this is to have something that's handmade by me that I can give to him and that he can keep, and it hopefully holds a little bit of sentimental value. So thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe down below, leave a comment, do all the stuff that you're supposed to do on YouTube. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.